Hey guys, welcome back to TLDR. This is N2W's monthly webinar, and it features bites of knowledge, or as we like to call it, quick shots of espresso. And this is where we talk about important features, trends, best practices for your backup in DR. So today we have a really important topic. It's all about DORA, Digital Operational Resilience Act. So we've been talking to a lot of customers about the new legislation, and we here at N2W are certainly no strangers to regulation. The purpose of this episode is to bring this information to you, to explain it, to break it down, what it says, how it's going to affect your backup strategy, and of course, who is affected, because even that really isn't so clear amongst the myriad of legalese, which is typically the case with these guidelines. So the deadline is approaching very, very soon. We encourage you to take this seriously very quickly. I'm here with Sebastian, our TLDR rock star, who provides his valuable insight every single month. And what's up, Sebastian? Did you happen to read the 182-page document on DORA?
Well, I tried, but I fell asleep somewhere around page 37, right around where they started talking about the intricacies of ICT risk management protocols. So I then did what any sane person would do. I skimmed for the words penalties and compliance deadlines, and that woke me up real quick. And then I read every single word twice, once for the guidelines and once more for the legal jargon.
Right, exactly. You basically just want to make sure you're not going to jail, and that's it. Yeah. So as I said, um, we're gonna break it down, and Sebastian, you can move on to the next slide because one thing we do want to point out is that it seems like DORA is just this other enforcement, I guess is a good word, or more likely a headache. Another one like that wonderful GDPR where you have to put tons of time and tons of effort into complying with. But we're here to tell you this is actually a great legislation, and that is probably a kind of strange adjective, but I think I speak for Sebastian here in that we are actually really super excited about it because this directly affects our cybersecurity procedures. And as you all know, cybersecurity and ransomware has been spiraling out of control. And we mention on almost every TLDR that it's really not if, it's when these bad actors will finally get you and get your critical data. Um, so yeah, it may seem like a burden, but now the regulators finally understand that there is a need for these optimal backup strategies. So it speaks to what we as a company have been trying to communicate and the precautions that need to be taken. So yeah, Sebastian's going to run through these best practices. As long as we have the right tools, it's really not a headache.
That's true.
Sebastian, yeah.
Well, so I guess what exactly is DORA? It sounds a little bit like a new social media app, but I promise it's not here to help you share cat memes. So DORA is the Digital Operational Resilience Act, a shiny new EU regulation focused on cybersecurity for financial institutions. And if you operate in the EU, or even if you don't, but have clients or assets there, well, DORA applies to you. So starting January 17th, 2025, DORA will require financial institutions to build resilience against digital disruptions. Imagine you're a bank. If your systems go down, you need a plan to get back online fast. If there's a cyber attack, DORA expects you to be prepared to contain it, recover from it, and get back to business. Why? Well, because in today's digital world, disruptions aren't just inconvenient, they're costly, and they provide tremendous inconvenience and hardship to the customers. Think of how much cash you have in your pocket right now. Everything's digital today, tap and go. If financial institutions go down, it is indeed a hardship for customers. And DORA is here to make sure that when disruptions happen, the financial industry can withstand them and, well, come out stronger.
So it's Sebastian, it's interesting because it begs the question, why are financial institutions the focus here? Are we seeing holes in this sector um, in terms of what they are prepared for currently?
Yeah, well, it's fair to wonder if DORA is just another box to tick, another compliance headache.
Right,
Or is
right.
it actually necessary? Well, think of it like this. DORA is as necessary as umbrella in a thunderstorm. Cyber threats and digital disruptions are on the rise, and EU's goal here is to make resilience mandatory and not optional. This isn't just a nice to have, it's essential to keep institutions, customers, and data safe. But there's good news. Once you're compliant, you don't just avoid penalties, you actually make your business stronger. Think of it as a kind of compliance armor, protective, but not really restrictive. In the end, when you have it in place, you'll be better for it. So think of DORA compliance like building a home gym. Setting up is very labor intensive. You got to find the right equipment, carve out space, maybe even read a few hundred-page manual, but how to assemble the thing. But once it's all set up, you've got everything you need to stay fit without ever leaving the house. DORA is the same way. Setting up compliance can be tedious, but once it's in place, it's a safety net for your business and keeping you prepared and resilient against any digital storm.
So, Sebastian, like I said, we've been talking to a lot of customers, and they come to us with all kinds of scenarios. Some of them, for example, are UK based. Are they affected? Are they indirectly affected if their MSP is in the EU? So we know things can get complicated. So can you kind of break down who exactly does need to comply with DORA?
Yeah, all right. So, who does DORA actually impact? The answer, as with all good regulations, is it's complicated. If you're a financial institution in the EU, you're absolutely on DORA's radar. But it does go deeper. Are you a bank, an insurance company, a crypto asset provider, or a business doing anything financial? You're likely in scope. And if you're not in the EU but do business there, especially if you're managing data for an EU-based financial client, then DORA still applies. And just to complicate things even more, if you're a tech provider managing data or systems for a financial company, well, congratulations, you've just been invited to the DORA party too. And the other thing is, what the heck is an ICT? And why does DORA regulation keep mentioning it? By now, you'll notice DORA loves this term, ICT, or Information and Communication Technology. But what does it actually mean? So basically, ICT covers all the systems and providers that process, store, and transmit data. Anything from cloud services to telecommunications to data centers and backup providers. If you're managing a financial company's information in any way, shape, or form, you're part of the ICT chain and DORA wants you covered. So think of ICT as a technology backbone of any organization. And DORA is making sure this backbone is as solid as possible. So if you're in tech and supporting a financial business, buckle up. DORA wants you cyber resilient too.
I think it's also important to, on that note, this is a digital supply chain, right? So if you are a financial institution, you are responsible at the end of the day, and you're the one that's going to get penalized. So if you are off-sourcing your services, then it's up to you. It's up to you to contact your vendor and ask them, are you complying? And if not, send them. So give them a list of things. This is what you have to do to comply. And of course, Sebastian is here to help us with that. Offline, we can help you with that. But that's an important something to keep in mind, that at the end of the day, who is penalized and what can you do today to make sure that's not the case going forward.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk the dreaded slap on the wrist. Talk to us, Sebastian. Is it big? Is it minor? What's going on?
So let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, penalties. DORA doesn't just suggest compliance, it enforces it with some real bite. If you're found non-compliant, expect fines that can reach up to 2% of your annual revenue. For larger institutions, that's a hefty price to pay. And unlike many regulations, DORA also includes personal fines, meaning individuals can be held accountable. Yes, you heard that right. DORA isn't just looking at companies, it's looking at the people who run them. And in severe cases, non-compliance could even mean criminal penalties. It's serious business. Imagine that conversation in prison. What are you in for? Oh, I'm in for ICT non-compliance.
Yeah. I've heard of more embarrassing prison stories, but yeah. Okay, so let's get into it. Sebastian, let's run through what are the main pillars of DORA and how can our listeners implement compliance procedures?
The four main pillars of Hercules, or I guess DORA in this case. So this is really where we come in, because as per usual, we want to be part of the solution for our customers and everyone who is struggling to become compliant in time before January 2025. Now, how does N2WS Backup play the superhero here? Well, every institution needs a framework to identify, measure, and mitigate ICT risks. DORA expects it to be proactive and not reactive. So pillar one, first up, ICT risk management. N2WS automates backups and handles disaster recovery like Captain America shielding your data from disaster. And with flexible scheduling options, it's like having a time traveling DeLorean at your disposal, backing up in 60 seconds intervals with a possible retention time of infinity. So if I haven't started yet, how can I collect everything that requires covering quickly? Well, easy. Automate it through resource tag management, and we can certainly help you with that as well. Keep in mind, because there's going to be a quiz later, and I joke, but keep this in mind because this will allow you to fast track your DORA compliance. This is what allows you rapid compliance. Pillar two, incident response. If a major incident happens, don't just sweep it under the rug. You're required to report it to authorities and handle it efficiently. When something goes wrong, you need a clear and timely response. Who, what, when, where. And N2WS's reporting simplifies incident tracking with built-in reporting capabilities. Instead of scrambling when an incident occurs, you have a plan in place, making it easier to stay transparent with authorities. And then pillar three, the resilience testing. Testing is critical to DORA, and N2W offers automated recovery testing. With recovery scenarios, you can conduct failover and, also important, fail back, and scheduled recovery testing. It's like a dress rehearsal for your data, making sure you can recover when needed. Resilience testing with N2WS is like sending your data through a Jedi training course. We offer automated failover, failback scenarios. So when disaster strikes, your data doesn't just freeze like carbonite Han Solo. It's ready to spring into action. And don't worry, we also run regular recovery testing because even Jedi Masters need to sharpen their lightsaber skills, and you'll be guaranteed a seat on the Jedi Council. And then pillar number four is your resilience is only as strong as your weakest partner. So if you're working with third-party providers, DORA wants them resilient too. N2W has you covered with cross-platform compatibility, protecting resources in both AWS and Azure cloud natively, and we offer a unified view of your backup strategy. That often mentioned, talked about true single pane of glass, not some hodgepodge solution that hopes for the best. N2W makes it easy to ensure that third-party providers are as resilient as your internal systems.
Awesome. Okay. So yeah, so that was kind of the overview. We're going to have a blog post coming out as well. Here we came at DORA through a backup and DR perspective. It affects all DORA pillars. Essentially, N2W allows you to perform all of these strategies in one single place. We know there's going to be more and more regulatory enforcements. Sebastian certainly knows the number never goes down. I know the UK is working on their response to DORA. So implementing N2W going forward will allow you to be in compliance with whatever is down the road. And yeah, so if you aren't a customer, the deadline is creeping up, but N2W deployment is super fast. You'll be setting up flexible backup schedules pretty much instantaneously. And as Sebastian showed you, we have rapid compliance through audit logs, reports, easily generated records of successful DR testing. And of course, we're always here for a DORA compliance health check. We have professionals and experts that will guide you through all of the necessary requirements and strategies. So please contact us. And that's it. There we have it. We'll sign off. And I just want to mention that we do have an upcoming TLDR on our favorite huge cloud event, a reInvent recap. We do this annually. Sebastian will be there. And we're really looking forward to that. And that's it. Sebastian, you want to say thanks and bye?
Absolutely. Stay safe, stay compliant, and may your downtime always be scheduled.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.